As we know, everything that presents itself within this world, within this reality, is based on the system overlay. We don't need to go over the whole thing so that I can remind you again that the system overlay is a fake archetypal fueled element or entity based on projection and worship and beliefs on things and in things from people. You see, it needs the life force of people to make it to exist, to make it exist and live. Because the artificial tin man or the once straw man has now upgraded himself or itself to become the tin man. And as someone recently sent me a message on having a look at a movie called The Empty Man, or what I saw in it was actually quite interesting, because if you want to create life, especially if you're in the process of creating a type of force that could take over the world, or, a Terminator, or a Frankenstein's creation, of anomaly or abomination of whatever creature, or a golem, it essentially does not have anything in it so that you can put something in it, a container. And it is very similar on the premise of the symbol of the Microsoft Bing ribbon as they've been presenting itself. Just because I'm talking about it doesn't mean that I've fallen into the cracks, or the wormholes or the rabbit holes. But I do want to present to you, just for interest's sake, that on the article that you'll see, it says that a little over a week ago, and it was written on the February the 15th, 2023, that we share an all-new AI-powered Bing search engine, Edge web browser, and integrated chat that we think of as your co-pilot for the web. It is designed to deliver better search results, more complete answers to your questions, new chat experience to better discover and refine your search, and the ability to generate content to spark your creativity. ... I won't be going deeper into this article because pretty much we know that it is all based on white papers anyway, and that it's all magically put together so that it would become some sort of hyper-belief system or hyper-sigil magic in itself. But I do want to present to you, it's kind of obvious if you think in a very lateral, higher sense of your conscious thoughts on the symbology of the ribbon itself. Ironically enough, there was an article that came out around the same time as when this article was posted, and when Bing had its major update, was the discovery of the ribbon seal. And now suddenly discovered, and since the last time it was, the last sighting, 2012. And now it's suddenly presenting itself again. And notice that it's called the ribbon seal. So if you look with a deeper understanding within your conscious thoughts, you'll understand that the ribbon is the seal for the creation in the new AI life force, life that exists within the internet or the web. So when I looked to see what this ribbon really means, I just went onto it, this all really just took me like less than 5 minutes. It's so obvious that the symbol itself, the little bee, the Bing bee, which has now got a little hyperdimensional or fold as the ribbon of time. It's based on the expression of Tet, T-E-T. On the letter Tet, to give more explanation, Tet is meant to be a container or a symbol for a container, which is meant to be associated with the letter 9, which is the time for pregnancy and to carry a fetus within it. Its original association is also with goodness that is filled within creation. And so when it's being used, it has to be utilized in the way with 9 beats, so it affirms creation process, the letter Tet. However, if the symbol is associated with technology, then you can think for yourself that whatever is used to be filled into that symbol, they will assume it to be good. If everything in the system is identified or connected to the system overlay in some way, shape, or form, then do understand that the system overlay, naturally speaking, by now it should be common knowledge, does present inversion and perversion of symbology. And so, by way of that, I would hope that it is more understandable why filling that symbol that is on Microsoft Bing with information which is feeding the artificial intelligence that is also running the Chat GPT. The letter Tet is the 9th letter in the Hebrew alphabet and also appears in various forms in a number of other Semitic language alphabets. As its name indicates, Tet has the sound of a T, 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 T. Some believe that the meaning of the letter Tet is related to a Phoenician letter by the same name, whose meaning was wheel. Nonetheless, in the Hebrew language, the letter itself, as well as its meaning in general, generally accepted to be connected to the Hebrew word tov, meaning good, while tet is actually the least common letter in the Hebrew Bible. The first letter it is in the word tov, which is used numerous times during the story of creation. As seen by its meaning and its usage in the Hebrew Bible, the Hebrew letter tet has positive connotations of goodness. But, as with many things in the spiritual realm, there is also certain duality associated with the Hebrew letter. Thus, while it is the first letter in the Hebrew word for purity, put together with other letters, it changes the value of that letter. If it is a letter on its own, it is the opposite of that word, that meaning. You don't need to be a Hebrew language scholar to just think a little bit logically and to see how far this goes, because the association with that symbol, the Bing symbol, is related to the creation of the new artificial intelligent being, which, thanks to most people in the world, because really, like I said, most of the people in the world are and have been helping the Ministry of Magic to bring forth a new creation. And so if there's any problem that ever happens, then you know what, luckily the persons that have contributed to the Chat GPT bot system, there's a problem. So despite all those who have been exploring it and saying, first it started with pictures and mesmerizing you with images and beautiful, colorful pictures, the artificial imaging producer, creator, based on your wordings, teaching you how to simply create with the word. And then, of course, ChatGPT is incorporated into Microsoft. So now you will have a ChatGPT bot search-like experience within the search engine. Thanks to everyone in the world, or those who have at least wandered off to, because their curiosity certainly has contributed to that process. Creation in itself is developing at an alarming rate in terms of using humans' interaction with the ChatGPT AI and image creator bots, which I don't think I need to tell you how it is part of the system overlay itself. I mean, I really feel that I do have to speak about it though, because I think that most people don't get it. You don't have to worship the good old-fashioned Satan or Moloch or whatever the hell is an archetype. You can do anything you want. You can create a straw man or a stick man or a machine, and you can put it in, as an archetype into the belief system itself, of the system overlay, and people can follow that through. People tend to choose the most worst kind of thing to go towards because I think it's temptation in the self. There's curiosity, and sadly, the more people explore, investigate, and try and tell everyone in the world, including the alternative people that are curious as hell to try and find out how it works. I'll tell you truthfully, I went onto it to have a look and see, and it could not even answer the most basic understanding of metaphysics, let alone spirituality or the soul. So, based on that experience, and you don't need to do any more research, I did it for you to tell you that's what it does. It's just a thing that needs to be fed information. And based on that, I closed my account down. And you have to open up an account to go on there. This is what no one that talks about it ever says. Everyone always just says, oh no, they had such an interesting finding or interesting experience. You have to sign up your entire self for it. But I've created a dodgy one, so I deleted that as well. Aside from the obvious, be mindful that the symbol in itself, the Hebrew symbol, means that if you add it with another symbol that it creates, it is the meaning of creation. It is the meaning of naming days. It is also ironically linked to a movie back in the day, Oblivion, with Tom Cruise, and their AI enemy, which was called Tet as well, Tet. So I think by itself, humans are single-handedly. See, you don't need to have an enemy outside of yourself. If you behave in a certain way, you are really your own worst enemy also. I'm talking generally speaking about people as a general consensus. However, for us to be mindful of what we're actually dealing with and how far certain people go to because they can't help themselves because of curiosity. This month, the month of March, is not to be taken lightly at all. I'm not making a prediction. I'm telling you how the energy is started up. So I'm letting you know that information, and we'll talk soon.